If you have been watching the news, you probably realized that almost every billionaire, analyst, or economist has warned us that a financial crisis is around the corner. From Warren Buffett and the late Charlie Munger, who talk about the speculations in the housing market, to Michael Burry, the big short investor who is betting $1.6 billion that the stock market will crash, and to Barry Sternlicht, one of the world's most successful and respected real estate investors who predicts an economic hurricane to hit us. It's not a surprise that 70% of Americans think a recession is coming. It seems like we are on the brink of economic catastrophe. If you open the Wikipedia list of the number of recessions in the United States, you will realize that recessions are nothing new. They might sound like a catastrophe, but they are an essential part of our economic cycle. It's normal that the economy reaches a certain level and then slowly starts cooling down. But if you pay close attention, you will realize that back before the creation of the Fed, recessions were much more common. After around 2 to 3 years of economic growth, the economy would peak and then slow down before its next expansion. After the central bank's manipulations, 6, 7, or even 8 years of economic expansion have become much more common until we have broken the record of 10 years and 8 months of economic expansion. It seems like we have reached our peak of using the Fed's policy to avoid recessions since we have suffered one recently. Having said that, how do you prepare for the next recession? How can we benefit from the upcoming crisis? And how do you make sure you get out of the next recession much better financially? We will answer all of these questions and many more, so give this video a thumbs up and let's dive in. Number 1. Never abandon the cash. When tough times hit, having cash is like having a safety net. When everything's going well, people often get excited about investing in things like cryptocurrencies and digital art. But when there's a hint of an economic downturn, even really rich people start selling their investments and keeping more cash. Take Warren Buffett, for example. He's not the flashy type, but he's wise. He keeps a lot of cash waiting for a good opportunity. So, how can you prepare for a recession? Start by cutting down on unnecessary spending. Even small expenses like that daily cup of coffee or those new sneakers can add up over time. And with prices going up because of inflation, every dollar you save can be a big help. We're also dealing with some issues in the supply chain, which is making things more expensive. It might take a while to sort that out, maybe even a year or more. So if you want to be ready for the next tough financial time, remember one thing: save your money. It's your best friend when things get rough. Remember, it's not about being a financial expert. It's about being smart with your money. Even when things are uncertain, your financial stability is in your hands. Number 2. Invest in liquid businesses. When tough financial times hit, many companies struggle, and some may even go out of business. Remember, employees have their own bills and families to support, so it's tough for businesses to operate without money. Think about the big economic crisis in 2008. Even major companies like General Motors, Chrysler, and AIG faced bankruptcy back then and needed help from bigger, more stable companies or the government. So when you're thinking about investing your money, it's smart to pick businesses that have some extra money saved up. It's like having a financial cushion for when things get tough. For example, companies like Apple and Microsoft always have a lot of extra money on hand, even when prices are going up. They'd rather have some of their money slowly lose value to rising prices than risk not having enough money to keep going during a recession. You can check how much money a company has by looking at its financial reports, especially the balance sheet. This way you can see if they've got enough cash to stay strong in hard times. Just keep in mind that not all companies will have as much extra cash as big names like Apple do. Number 3. A recession is an opportunity. Even though it might seem like the worst time to start a business, the reality is often quite different. When the economy is doing great, it's tough to compete with big, established companies. But when things get rough and those big companies get bogged down in their own problems, that's when startups can shine. Take WhatsApp, for example. It started back in 2009, right in the middle of an economic crisis. A few years later, Facebook bought it for a mind-boggling $19 billion. Now, with over 2 billion users, it's worth even more. Uber is another success story. It also began in 2009 and is now valued at nearly $50 billion, despite not making much profit yet. There are many other examples like Pinterest, Venmo, Slack, Square, and of course Bitcoin. The 2008 financial crisis inspired someone called Satoshi Nakamoto to create Bitcoin, and it kick-started a whole industry that turned lots of people into millionaires and billionaires. Think about cryptocurrency platforms like Coinbase, Binance, and Gemini. Even Tesla, which almost went out of business during the crisis, didn't just survive. It became one of the biggest players in the car industry. While other car companies were struggling, Tesla stood tall. But it's not just about starting a business. It's also a great time to boost your career. When things are tough, stepping up at work can help you move up the career ladder faster. Just look at how many junior managers got promoted when things got tough in the last crisis. Number 4. Don't cash out. It's easy to be patient when everything is growing. If you purchased Bitcoin at 11,000 before its stratospheric rise, you have watched how your assets grew so dramatically over a short period of time. The truth is that the absolute opposite happens during a bear market. A lot of people don't get patient and sell off, thinking that the world is about to end. If the world is about to end, then you don't need that money anyway. Jokes aside, the stock market has survived the Great Depression, World War II, endless recessions, and the Vietnam and Iraq wars. The investors who actually made money are the ones who either sold before everything crashed, which is almost impossible since timing the market is not as easy as you might imagine, or waited till the crisis passed and stocks began to grow again during the expansion period. Number 5. Take advantage of the gig economy. During a recession, traditional job markets can be challenging. However, the gig economy, characterized by short-term contracts or freelance work, often thrives. You can tap into this growing trend by offering your skills and services online. Whether you're a writer, graphic designer, web developer, or have expertise in various fields, there's a demand for freelancers. And by the way, you don't need to be an expert in these things. If you truly want to make money online, you can start offering the service at a cheap price and work your way up to higher prices. Remember, skills are recession-proof. Bear in mind that no matter what, companies and individuals seek cost-effective, on-demand solutions. This not only allows you to earn income, but also diversifies your revenue streams, which is vital during economic downturns. By embracing the gig economy, you can turn your skills into a recession-resistant income source while maintaining flexibility and adaptability in a changing job market. Explore freelance platforms such as Fiverr and Upwork to easily find opportunities. Number 6. Don't go into debt. If you haven't prepared yourself for a recession, you are going to struggle. A lot of people get into debt when they can't fulfill their basic needs. And if a recession happens as a result of a financial bubble or inflation, like in our case now, the Fed would raise rates to slow down the bubble, which means the debt is going to be expensive during such periods. In 2007, at the peak of the housing bubble, the Fed raised rates to 5.25%. Imagine what the rates were for consumers such as you and me. In the year 2000, during the dot-com bubble, the Fed raised rates to 6.5%. That's why recessions make the rich richer and the poor poorer, because poor people often struggle to save money. So during the recessions, they might have to borrow to put food on the table, while the rich don't and can use that excess cash to take an opportunity of the crisis. Number 7. Consider precious metals. When the economy gets shaky, think about investing in precious metals like gold and silver. These metals tend to hold their value when other investments struggle. You can invest in them by buying actual gold or silver items or through related investment options like ETFs or mining company stocks. The reason they're attractive during tough times is that they have inherent value. For example, gold is scarce and takes effort to mine, making it valuable by nature. It doesn't rely on economic ups and downs like some other investments. People also see these metals as a safe way to store their money. When regular investments look uncertain, many turn to gold and silver to keep their wealth secure. Additionally, these metals have global appeal. They're not dependent on a single country's economic situation, making them a good choice during a worldwide economic downturn. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and happy investing.